Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. We are full swing playoff mode at this point as we head to race number 5 of the playoffs at Talladega Superspeedway, the second race of the round of 12, where we enter today 26 points below the cut line at this Talladega Superspeedway. Fortunately for us, we have two tracks coming up to finish up this round where we will have good opportunities to score a lot of points. Talladega, I think we can get stage points in stage 1, stage 2, probably compete for a top 10, top 5, maybe even the win here today. So I'm expecting to leave today in the fight to make it into the round of 8 going into the Charlotte Roval. And that one I think could go either way really, just like, Talladega can also go any way, to be honest now. We skip practice, we come through into qualifying. Of course, we don't really need to qualify. We know we'll be last, but I'd like to qualify just so we can see where everybody else is starting. So we come through the tri-oval here now to the line, the goal. We're way off of that by a couple of seconds, but that's going to be our lap, and it would be dead last as expected, and we'll be able to see who's qualifying up towards the front now. Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, of course, in front of us on points, but also below the cut line right now. Need some good days here, but you can see up on the front row, it's actually Eric Jones on pole with Brad Keselowski, Truex, Blaney, Hamlin, as well in the top 5. Michael McDowell rounding out the top 10. Our teammate of Chandler Smith in 8th place. Truck Series action took place in Talladega on Saturday. Grant Enfinger picked up the victory. That logs him into the Championship 4 in the Truck Series. Just a one single race left to determine who makes the Final 4 in trucks. But now we'll get ready to go racing. Xfinity absent this weekend. Let's get rolling on Sunday.
We're coming to you live from Talladega Superspeedway, the middle race of the round of 12. And guys, maybe the biggest wild card of the playoffs.
It is the biggest wild card for sure, Rick. You never know what to expect at this track, and you will surely see some surprises today.
We will see multiple drivers' seasons determined today, guys. Although we may not know it right away, we will next week after Charlotte.
Alright team, we'll try to get stage points and fight up front as long as we can today, and that's going to be what we got to do if we want to find ourselves in that round of 8.
Yep, get after it, make smart decisions, but be aggressive.
Ready to roll then here from Talladega for the Alabama 500. Now you can see in these stories of the race, two of these guys starting from the back. That's Kyle Busch, who had to replace the transmission before the race, and then we have your pole winner of Eric Jones, but William Byron failed technical inspection, so he will also be starting from the back of the grid. That's two playoff drivers to keep in mind as we are ready to roll. It's always good when people start behind you in Talladega when you qualified last, because we'll have an opportunity to stay with the pack in a 4-star car. There is moments where you can lose connection with the pack when you start at the back, but nonetheless, we're underway for the middle race of the round of 12, a round that throws so many curveballs, of course, at the drivers now. In past seasons, of course, when you have Texas somehow gets wild in the playoffs at times, but Talladega, of course, in the Charlotte Roval. I am extremely excited. Okay, I'm going to limit myself a little bit. I am a little bit excited for Talladega coming up in the playoffs in real life. After we saw the Daytona regular season finale, we finally saw that 3-lane action where they got, I don't know, 10, 15 rows it felt like deep. Not 15 rows, but definitely like 10 rows deep of 3-wide action. If we can do that in Talladega, we are in for a heck of a playoff race in real life here coming up in a few more weeks. So I'm excited to see if we're going to be able to actually do that or not. But nonetheless, trying to move our way forward here now in these opening laps. We've got 14 laps to work with here in stage 1, so plenty of time to move our way forward here now. And you look around us, you got a Byron for the playoff guys as well. Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Ross the Boss, Chastain all the way on the outside. They're actually falling backwards, so you cannot of course, give up many points here today. You got to be on it all day long, because then we're going to go to that Charlotte Roval and we can see a lot of chaos there as well. It has proven to be a wild race in the past in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, at least, and of course in real life as well now, as we come through already to lap 4 of 14 here in stage 1. Just continuing to follow Kyle Busch now. Smoke ahead as we already head into the trial, only lap 4, and that's actually Alex Bowman, who's blown a tire in the 48 and is going to do enough damage to take him out of this race. So Bowman, who started in the top 10, it's been a rough season for the 48, the only Hendrick driver not in the playoffs, and he is going to be out early here in Talladega. He's not the only winless Hendrick driver. Of course, Kyle Larson still looking for that first win. I said last episode I was going to adjust his rating in terms of the Highline situation that I explained. If you don't know what that's about, just go watch the Texas episode. You'll understand it there. But I have fixed, I'm going to say, it's, in my opinion, it's something that should not be there. So I fixed it, and then as well fixed Tyler Reddick's rating for the Highline too. Larson, of course, finds himself in the double digits out right now of the cut line. He's got some work to do. Logano, the other driver in the playoffs that's winless, has got some work to do now as we head down this back straightaway. Logano's so good when it comes to plate racing. So Talladega, this could be right in his wheelhouse to maybe get that first win of the season. I mean, not that far off of real life, of course. The most recent real life race there at Bristol for the round of 16 elimination. Denny Hamlin picking up the victory, but Logano got eliminated there. But he's only got one win on the season, and the Logano trend continues. In odd years, he runs like crap, and then in even years, he's always fighting for the championship at the very end of the year. So it's weird how that kind of works. But 2024, I fully expect Joey Logano to be in the Final Four, fighting for a title here now as we continue moving forward. Passing Kevin Harvick, you'll get a good look at his throwback Talladega car a little bit later on, made by Sanox, so stay tuned for that one now, as you can kind of see him in the back there. But coming to just a couple laps to go in this stage, and just by staying on this inside, we have moved our way into a position to fight for stage points now. On the inside of McLeod, Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher, Cindric, Enfinger right there in front of us. They're 3 wide now as we come through the exit of 4. This will put us into the points. Tried to go to the inside of the 23, but I drove into the back of him instead, so it stalled my momentum. Our teammate of Justin Haley currently out in front over Harrison Burton. McDowell falling back here now as we approach the final lap. We're all the way up to P6 as we start the final lap in stage 1. Right on the bumper of Bubba Wallace. Around goes the 34 of McDowell. It's a huge incident in the background there, airborne, as he was up on top of the hood in the windshield of the 21 of Harrison Burton there. The caution's going to fly and end stage 1 about 3/4 of a lap early. That will award us a 5th place effort here in the stage. 6 points to our name. Looking around us, Logano, Truex, and Chase Elliott are the only other drivers in the playoffs that got stage points. So we just know for a fact we made some nice gains right there on the cut line. Of course, over 20 points below the cut line coming into this race. We need to get stage points right here in stage 1, which we've done, and we need to do it again in stage 2. That could set us up well. If we can get stage points in both stages and a top 10 effort, we could probably leave today with the Talladega uncertainty in the diversity of where everybody's running. We could find ourselves, I would say, less than 10 points below the cut line, which in my opinion is all I could ask for, as we're back underway here for the start of stage 2. Bubba Wallace getting aggressive. He's forced at 3 wide. I don't know if that was him or Logano actually that forced the issue. I think it might have been the 22 that did, as he's going to move forward, but we got shot all the way up. But Bubba, being very nice, there's going to let me back to the inside. I'm actually going to stay up here though, because I got the 19 of Truex now that we're going to link up with. We got the 41 of Ryan Preece behind us as well. He's going to become a draft partner as we head down towards turn 3, and all 3 of us are going to get bumper to bumper here. Now we are about to haul the mail around the outside. There were 4 wide briefly. We go around the outside of the 17, the 2 of Cindric as well. Hamlin falling backwards as we head down this front stretch. Stage 1 winner, my teammate of Justin Haley out in front. Of course, Haley, our teammate, just for a handful of more races before he goes full-time racing for Rick Ware Racing next season. Now, of course, news came out this past weekend about Trackhouse and Zane Smith. That's going to be a system that we're not going to bring into the story of this career mode because they've already got a plan put in place for Zane Smith, and I'm not changing it now. Let me know, however, down below right now in the comments, do you think Trackhouse is making a good investment into Zane Smith with the whole Spire situation in the charter, which is $40 million, by the way? Personally, I'm going to go on a bold comment here as the caution's actually going to fly. I'm going to make a bold prediction that the Trackhouse Zane Smith situation will not work out long term. And I say that because you look at his Xfinity series, he never did great in the J or M equipment, and it's really hard to get a good idea of what someone can do based off the truck series. It just doesn't seem to translate very well nowadays to Cup Series success. So we'll see. Will I be proven wrong? We'll find out in probably like 2, 3, 4 years or so. But we continue back on underway here at the midway point now of stage number 2. And now we find ourselves right in that bubble area of getting some stage points once again. Byron brought out that last caution. Byron still remains in the race, however. He's all the way at the back with Chastain. Chastain's been running in the back all race long. I'm not quite sure what's going on with him. I voluntarily jump up to the third lane and I regretted it immediately because I'm going backwards. There goes Almirola up the inside. Denny Hamlin going to follow him as well. The 41 going to get to my back bumper. Thankfully, I was able to get back down into that second lane and maybe even to the inside of Juan Larson now. Going to become one of my draft partners as we fall back in line. Behind that 11, a huge push from behind from that HendrickCars.com machine as we're right on the back of the FedEx Camry now as we got Almirola to our outside, of course, in his final handful of races with this 10 Smithfield machine before he does that swap with Harrison Burton, and basically he's going to finish out his career to a season or two, and that will be it for Eric Almirola. My prediction is 1 season in that 21 car before Almirola finally hangs up the helmet here now as we continue moving forward again late in stage 2. 6 laps to go. We find ourselves planted on that double yellow line and moving forward. A bit of a late move on Keselowski. The door opened. I said greetings, and we continue on into the top 10, passing that Castrol Edge machine, and now we continue to get some more points potentially here now in a few laps time, but depending on, of course, when the timing of the caution could potentially come out here. We saw a caution late in stage 1. It was on the final lap of the stage, however, a 4-wide move into turn number 1, and it's going to be successful. We'll pass the 42, the 77, and the 20 all in one go, and that puts us up into 4th place with Zane Smith right here. We would get past him to the inside of Truex as well. Into 2nd place we go. We got the 17 of Chris Buescher in front of us now as we look to fight past them. Of course, we were fighting with them at the end of the regular season for that final spot in the playoffs. Now just a few laps to go at this point. 4 to go on the stage, and Austin Dillon actually looks to my inside. I thought he was going to follow me, but no, he turns left at the line and says thank you very much. So we're going to give up a few positions instead. The 20 goes by. Here comes the 5 again of Kyle Larson now as he is desperately trying to get points at a track type that he is so bad at. Larson is one of the worst when it comes to restrictor plate racing, which is so surprising considering how, in my opinion, Kyle Larson is easily the most talented driver in the NASCAR Cup Series and definitely a top 5 in the world. Yet you put him on a track like Talladega or Daytona, it's like he's one of the worst. We continue on now, looking to the inside of that 17, 3 wide in the middle, coming to 3 to go, trying to get a little bit aggressive here and trying to gain some points out of this now and salvage what we can out of this to set ourselves up as well, most importantly for a nice effort, or a nice starting position I should say, for stage number 3. Larson goes past. We'll drop back behind him. The 20 of Jones, or the 20 of Bell, sorry, going backwards as well. We'll slip up the inside of him now as I decided to leave that Jimmy Buffett paint scheme back on one more time. We go up the inside now of Larson. He jumped up to the top. I said thank you very much. That will move us up into P3 again now as we close in on the final lap of the stage. Larson is still right behind me as we're going to look to that right rear quarter panel of Grant Enfinger now as he just won the truck race, of course, earlier in the episode. We get a nice push from Larson down the back straightaway. We should be able to get clear of this 42. Yes, we do. Do we have anything for the 3 of Austin Dillon? Dillon, of course, a winner this season in the playoffs. Of course, did not make the playoffs, but he got that win at Kansas in dominant fashion. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like it was handed to him. He dominated the race once he took the lead, and here he is looking for his 2nd win of the season, but he's going to pick up a stage win here. I just can't get to him. Simple as that. I got nothing for him. So we're going to cruise through the tri-oval and bring it home in P2. So we have picked up now 6 points in stage 1, 9 points in stage number 2. We are having a very solid effort so far. 15 points on the day. We came in 26 points, of course, below the cut line. We know we're making gains because Kyle Busch Larson are the only other playoff drivers in Stage 2 that have picked up points. So we know we're making gains on that cut line, and big gains at that. And now it's all going to come into hopefully a whole full course meal, you could call it, here in stage number 3. We take the lead during the pit cycle, and now we will be in control of this restart. Could be the final restart, very unlikely, but nonetheless, we're going to get back underway as we are now P1 with this Colleague Racing number 16 Chevrolet Camaro, of course, already confirmed to come back next season with Colleague Racing. Myself, as well as our teammates, are going to be, as was confirmed recently, AJ Allmendinger in the number 13 car, and then Daniel Hemrick in the 31, just like real life. So I'm excited to see what this team's going to bring. Of course, we've got a Hendrick Motorsports Alliance on the way going into next season, and that's another thing to watch out for. We are going to have fast cars at Colleague next season. We're not going to be a 4-star car team anymore, so we are going to be fast, and I'm hoping that, of course, we can win races. I'm hoping we can win today, of course, but we are definitely going to be a legitimate playoff threat next season and not have to rely on points, I'm hoping, as we continue to lead down this back straightaway. Now you're just having to mirror drive from this point on. Anytime you're leading at Talladega or Daytona, you're just watching that mirror, of course. You got Busch on the inside, and there goes Enfinger to the top with help from the 5 of Larson as we head down this front stretch, and look at the run they get. That's something we got to watch out for. The 8 going to give me a big shove now as well. Of course, when you are leading at these plate tracks, the draft partners will not activate, so they will not push you when you are leading the race, which is it's a great thing because they could just push you for days and you would never lose probably. But we settle back in to second place, right to the back of this 42, looking for an overtaking opportunity. I want to be in control of this race, and here we go down into turn 3. I was chasing Enfinger up the circuit, but he continues to lead. Now the Truck Series winner from Talladega, representing here today for Legacy Motor Club. Now as I look to his right rear quarter panel, here comes the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Chase Elliott to my back bumper. Now down this back straightaway, this should put us back out in front, and sure enough, it will. We are going to be clear for the lead as we head down towards turn number 3. Do we drop down in front of Enfinger, or do we stay with the 9 of Elliott? I wanted to stay with the help of the 9, but then he drops back, so I now drop down in front of that 42. But now you're going to see the 9 backs up to, I think that's the 41 of Ryan Priest. I throw a block on the 9, we drop back down, throw a block on the 42, but then the 9 catches me off guard. You can only block so many times before they kind of get to your outside. Usually you can cover the inside pretty easily, but when you have to sway back and forth, it's just so hard to be able to cover all the lanes off. And Riley Herbst, the Daytona 500 winner with help from Eric Almirola, to the lead here in Talladega. Here comes Kozlowski. There's that Harvick Shell Pennzoil machine throwback Sanok whipped up. Reminds me of, like the 2010 car when he won here at Talladega in that last lap pass on Jamie McMurray in the number 1 car. I remember that race so well, and it was such a epic final couple moments, of course, in that race as those two just ran away. That was back when the tandem drafting was a big thing. Now as we continue on up here, 3 wide now, in the middle actually, pushing the 6 of Kozlowski. It would just go back to 2 wide. Kyle Larson moving his way back forward. Larson's doing everything he needs to do aside from winning the race, so we drop back down to the inside in front of the 24, who's now found himself into the mix. Blaney in front of us, Harvick. All these playoff guys are starting to show up right at the end of the day here in Talladega. Now less than 10 laps remain in this race. Now Enfinger's still up there on the mix. Almirola leading. I got to the inside of the 12, help from the 24 Raptor machine. I'll get linked up with him and his teammate of Larson, and we're just going to do this little 3-way push down the back straightaway into 3 to go around the outside of Enfinger. It would eventually work as I nearly wrecked the 5 of Larson. We put him into second. We are within a lap or so of green flag pit stops. We can probably go around one more time, and we will have to pit at the end of lap 44. Scratch everything. We don't have to pit at all under green flag conditions. We're going to pit right here. So cautions out. Almirola, Enfinger, Larson, myself, Zane Smith, your top 5. We're going to box. We're going to take no tires because we just don't need them, and we're going to do half a can of fuel. So we enter the pits 4th. We're going to add some grill tape onto the car for hopefully just a little bit more pace in this car in these closing moments, because I think it's going to be 2 laps of racing, and the pit crew would get us 3 positions and put us P1 for a 2-lap dash here from Talladega Superspeedway in the playoffs, looking for our first career win still as a Cup Series rookie. It's been, well, I was going to say it's been forever, but Austin Cindric won the Daytona 500 as a rookie. But aside from a restrictor plate win, it's been quite some time since a rookie has gone to victory lane in the NASCAR Cup Series, and, well, we're at a restrictor plate track, so I'm going to actually add some credit to Austin Cindric, so that way if we do win, we can add credit to ourselves. This is worst case scenario. Look at the gap that we have on the 42 and the 10 on the far outside. Byron's moving with potential help from the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Larson on the bottom does not have the help he needs. I cover off the 42 down into turn 3. Nothing really building quite yet, but things can happen very quickly here at Talladega NASCAR Heat 5 with the AI. Larson jumps to the top. Truex was on the inside. Elliott was down there with him as well as we head down this front straightaway, approaching the final lap, continuing to watch that rear view mirror because we know someone's going to get a run, but when, well, it happened. Here comes Truex now building up a bit of momentum. That's 2 lanes coming at us really quick. Now we cover the 9, but the 19 gets there. Larson's all over the back of the 19. You saw the pace. That was insane how quick they were coming. They break up, but the damage is done. Truex is clear. We're 3 wide. Larson tried to get past us. He was unable to. We continue side by side. A huge shove from the 10 of Almirola. All of a sudden, maybe we do have a chance to come back and take the lead and maybe the win on this final lap here, but we get separated from the 10. We jump to the outside of the 9 who covers the bottom. We side draft and pull him back. I need help if we're going to get the 19, and I don't think that help's going to get here. You see a few car lengths between myself and Zane Smith. Martin Truex Jr. 1 win on the season. He's about to make it 2 as we come through the tri-oval. End finger as well to my inside as we come through the tri-oval. Truex wins in Dega. We cross the line for still a heck of a result. 4th place here in Talladega. 4th place in Talladega. Harvick, Blaney, Elliott, Truex, of course, with win. Larson, the playoff guys, in the top 10. But I think we have disrupted the playoff grid here today, and we are going to be in for a heck of a Charlotte road course race. And let's take a look here momentarily. Bell, 5 laps down in 39th. That is going to play a role as well. Let's take a look, and you can see it right there. We are 2 points below the cut line, a huge gain. Busch out by 6, Byron out by 6, Larson only out by 9, and 4th place of Chastain is only 10 points above the cut line. 3 drivers are all tied at 10 points above the cut line. So let's just think about that for a second. 4th place is only 10 points above. There is so many spots up for grabs that can change around going into the Charlotte road course. I feel after that, with all the drivers that just fumbled the ball, you could say, I feel ecstatic about our chances to make the round of 8. I think we got a good shot. Road courses, of course, have been one of our top types of tracks, so I think we're going to have a heck of a day at the Charlotte road course. Obviously, it depends on how we qualify there, but I'm feeling confident. I hope you guys are as well. It's a shame we couldn't get the win. Truex had such a huge run, and I just didn't catch it in time as I was blocking the 9. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see you guys in the Eliminator race at Charlotte. Have a great day, everybody.